Hey guys, it's Akali back here again with another one of my Walking Dead recaps and reviews. Sorry I haven't been able to get these up a lot recently. My last video was the interment recap and review. I've been really busy with school and my life. It's the holidays, of course, and everything's been really hectic. So um, I I haven't been really into uploading videos that much. And before that, I haven't been uploading videos that much. Before that, I've been behind on these for a majority of the time. So anyway, let's get down to the review. So anyway, guys, we're gonna be reviewing uh, episode 6, the live bait. We're gonna be delving into this episode. Anyway, this episode was labeled as the return of the governor after that whole massacre at the end of season 3 massacred the entirety of the Woodbury army, and there's only 3 survivors. Well, there's 4 survivors, but one of them's dead now. Karen, obviously, in episode 2. Um, but getting down to the return of the governor, um, we come back into we pick up off right after that attack, and his 2 trusted men, most trusted men, Martinez and Shumpert, survived that attack, of course. Basically, at that night later, they set up camp at that National Guard post where we saw them massacre the National Guard members in season 3. Um, and basically, uh, the governor, they set up a campfire. The governor is just staring at a walker. A walker comes into the camp, and basically the walker stares in there, and he doesn't do anything. He doesn't react. Like the walker falls in the fire. Um, that's a great scene right there. It really shows that he's developing his head, recapping in his head just went down, what went down with this whole Woodbury versus the prison war, and what his life means. He's going through soul searching times, okay? um, but basically, Martinez comes out of his tent and shoots the walker before it kills the governor. Um, and the governor, Philip, the governor, I'm going to call him the governor for purposes, reviewing purposes. Basically, uh, after that, the next morning, they go to sleep and everything. The governor wakes up the next morning, and basically Martinez and Trumpert have abandoned him because they think he's crazy. Anyone would abandon him at that point, and so and then we get compilation time. This is like the intro to the episode. We get uh, epic compilation time, or slideshow or whatever. We have a song. It's called "Last Pale White in the West." The song that they play. It's a really good song describing where the governor's been. We see that he drives back to Woodbury and burns down Woodbury. It's that scene from the promo. We thought that may have been maybe another civilization or something, or a flashback, but it is a flashback. So this entire episode is a flashback. So you have that. And basically we see him on the road, and basically he encounters a barn with survivors' names on it, and he's just walking along, and everyone's not feeling. He's just not. He's just like deciding what he means in life, and basically he's ready to die. We see he's grown a beard and is all. Um, he has that backpack and everything. Well, anyway, he's grown a beard and his physical features and everything. And basically, he keeps on walking. He he avoids the walker. Does like just gets out of the way and the walker falls down. But basically, he goes on until he collapses in front of an apartment building, and he sees a little girl. I thought it was just like a thing of Penny, maybe, but it turns out it's one of those new characters that they rumored, the Chalmers family from the comic series. AMC credits them as the Chamberlains, but yeah, for all intents and purposes, we'll call them the Chalmers. Basically, they have he encounters this family, and um, sorry, he encounters this family of Tara, which is the sister, Lily, Megan. Megan is Lily's daughter, and then their dad, David. So we have that whole thing set up, and I'll be back because my computer apparently isn't charging. Now that that problem's solved, um, anyway, as I was saying, they encounter him, and basically in that promo, he tells Lily Tara that his name is Brian Harriet. That was the barn he saw. He saw a bunch of survivors like riding like it looks like the Left 4 Dead, where they people like write for survivors or whatever. And then the governor rejects the food that they give him. He just stays there in the uh, uh, he just stays in that apartment building that they're in. Um, and then basically going through this, we basically we get development for the whole all those characters. The governor stays silent for most of this episode, but basically like David, which is the dad, he gets he asks him to go get a backgammon set, uh, and then he goes up there and finds a walker in the bathroom shot many times, and which was David's friend, and basically he puts him out of his misery and um, takes the gun that the guy had. Basically, he goes on an oxygen run for the grandpa David, and basically, what does it say? He gets since we know David's gonna die. He has stage 4 lung cancer. He goes to a nursing home and almost dies. Getting an oxygen tank for him, the grandpa. Really good scenes for the governor. Governor's really this episode. David Morrissey really puts on a great performance. And then some bonding after he gets back. There's bonding between Megan and the governor, and you can already see that he's starting to form a sort of a surrogate Penny for him. And there's a funny scene where Philip says that he's a pirate when Megan asks if he's what he did before, and then he says that he's a pirate, and that's a legitimate answer. He has an eye patch. He has the beard. I've seen that meme on Facebook, or Governor mixed between Governor Herschel and the Governor Herschel and Merle, all would form a pirate. That'd be funny. But and he steals stuff from people, so that's another thing. And and they have that chess scene, which was one of the best scenes of the episode. And then we get a reveal that David died. And then he reanimates. They learn how that they reanimate. Oh yeah, Tara didn't know that you have to shoot him in the head. These people have been basically isolated. They don't know about the outside world, and they still think society's normal. But then things go down, and David dies and almost kills Tara, and then he gets his head bashed in with the oxygen tank that the governor had brought back from the nursing home. So, yep, and then we get a symbolic scene where Philip burns the photo from season 3 of his wife and daughter, and basically he says he's replacing this family with him. and basically they leave the apartment after this. Uh, we get in that delivery truck that they were basically living off, since the grandpa was a truck driver, and then they uh, then Philip and Lily get together. If Lily only it's new Andrea. People compare. People say she looks like Andrea and acts. Wait, no, she looks like Maggie and then acts like Andrea. And that's a true statement. Well, sometimes, but I can tell she's stronger than Andrea was in season 3. They shortchanged Andrea so much in the TV series. If I do ever do comic reviews, I'll tell you how awesome Andrea is. Basically that, and then they can get on foot, continue the luggage. Then there's a massive group of walkers down one road, and Megan freezes, and they basically Philip runs and grabs Megan, and they run into the woods, and Tara's injured. Somehow she's injured, and we learn that, of course, that Tara we learn that Tara is a lesbian. Okay, that's a minor point. And then basically we run into the woods, and they fall into one of the walker pits. Get this. This is one of the pits that the governor, I think this is the governor's pits where he created, well, at least some of the pits where he created screamer pits, like where uh, walkers have fallen into there. And as they get in there, they fall in, and Megan gets in the corner. And then, hands down, these are the most brutal kills, some of the most brutal kills I have ever seen on The Walking Dead. There's walkers in the pit. Well, anyway, it's a brutal kill, I guess. But the governor starts killing zombies with his bare hands. One time he shoves the walker kill I'm talking about. He shoves his hands into the walker's throat and like rips out the walker's throat.
Wait, who does?
And then sorry about my sister, but anyway, basically after that the walker gets back up. The governor grabs a bone and then pulls the walker back in its mouth, like through the mouth, and then shoots its head up. And oh, it's just brutal. But basically, we get this whole scene, and then Philip goes back and hugs Megan, and then at the top of the pit, as he says, "I cross my heart," which was a continuous of a line earlier. He then hears a voice coming from the top of the pit, and looks up and sees none other than the friendly Mexican Martinez above the pit. And then the episode ends. So, of course, we didn't get any lead back to the prison at the end of episode 5 internment. But of course, we get to see where the governor's been and everything. This was a good episode. I would say it's good on a good level. It's not as great as I thought it was initially because it gets boring at points, but it really explains where the governor's been and what he's seen up to this point, how the governor is redeveloping after that massacre at the end of season 3. Um, uh, Certain aspects of the story of the prison arc I like better in the TV series, but others I don't. Such there the assault on the prison in season 3. No one got killed. Well, except Andrea, but that was an indirect death. In Milton, but and then the massacre on the road. That was an interesting twist. Season 3 wasn't the best, but Glenn Mazzara, I'm glad he's gone now. But Scott M. Gimple has really provided for a better Walking Dead TV series that is both accurate to the comics, but it adds new interesting storylines, new characters, stuff like that. Um, but I would have to say this is the weakest episode. After watching the rest of the episodes, this would easily have to be the weakest episode, due to the fact that now after watching the next episode and the mid-season finale, I would have to say this is the weakest episode. Least, its pacing wasn't exactly the best. Yes, it picked up towards the end, but there was like nothing happening until the last like 20 minutes. It was mostly character development, but it was for characters we didn't know. Um, David's death, David Chalmers' death was needed, so it was basically to advance the story along, and well, it doesn't advance the story along very much, but we get surrogate Penny, surrogate wife, and surrogate family for the governor, and we learn about Martinez. So I wonder what things are gonna be like. This would be better if I watched it before I saw the next two episodes, but if you haven't seen it and are just watching this for a review, because you've watched episode 6 and everything, it's a good episode. Not the best of season 4, by far. The best two episodes in the series pale this in comparison. I would have to easily give it 7, maybe a 7.2 out of 10, 7 out of 10, maybe somewhere in there. Maybe even a 6 out of 10. If at points it's a 6 out of 10. Sometimes it's 7.5. So I'll just go with 7, because that's in the middle. At least I think it is. I'll go with 7 for this episode. Definitely the weakest of the season 4 episodes, in my opinion. And the return of the governor wasn't all it was to hyped up to be, but really great acting from David Morrissey. The new actors, Megan, okay, she does a good job for the governor, the new the governor's child, because we know she's all gonna bite the dust, and that's not a spoiler. I'm not spoiling it for you, because we all know she's gonna bite the dust, and the governor's gonna go crazy again because they advertised the war arc. I'm not spoiling the mid-season finale. They advertised the war with the governor, and so yeah. But basically, yeah. 7 out of 10. Good episode, not solid episode. I'm gonna say that. I don't know if it's a solid episode. Really gets us, introduces us. David Morrissey acting was superb, but an episode can't stand alone on that acting. Really brings us up to speed, and uh, it's kind of not needed. But it's kind of unnecessary. But in my opinion, it's really needed for character development to get us where the governor's at in his life at this moment, and show us to where it's going to lead up to that end of the thing in tournament. So, anyway, guys, this has been Akali for now with the Walking Dead Season 4 video reviews. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe below. And follow me on Twitter and like my channel Facebook page. So, anyway, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.